Hey everyone, it's Dr. Ramani. Welcome back to this YouTube channel on narcissism and narcissistic relationships. Well, everybody likes rating things on a scale, right? Yelp reviews and all that. Well, let's think about your narcissistic relationship on a 1 to 10 scale. It might give you a different way to think about it, right? We love rating stuff, so let's think about that. Now, you know I've said this over and over on this channel. Narcissism's on a continuum. Myself and anyone who studies narcissism knows that. It's not a black or white. It's not an either or. Right? And this matters because even when we say that someone is experiencing a relationship with a narcissistic person, they may be having very different experiences. And this can actually complicate healing. So let me break this down a little sort of concretely. And let's start with 1 to 10, right? So let's start with the 1 to 3 range, okay? People in that 1 to 3 range are the emotionally immature, selfish, self-centered, superficial, can't go deep narcissistic folks. We all know people like this, and we all have at least one friend like this, right? Their empathy is flimsy at best. It's always about them, and if someone is going through something, they may be able to fake it a little, but they really don't care. These are the folks where you may find yourself listening to their breakup stories for hours per day for weeks, but when something happens to you and you call them, they can't be bothered. The 1 to 3s can be snobby. They can be very concerned with superficial status stuff like labels and designer nonsense, and they're willing to judge or value people on this basis. Listen, if people want to have fashion, that's great, but if you're devaluing people because they don't have those items, that's more of what we see in our 1 to 3 narcissists. The 1 through 3s have inappropriate boundaries. They may be flirty and then gaslight their partner who might feel uncomfortable saying things like, oh, stop being so serious all the time. The 1 to 3s need lots of attention. They love being the center of it, the center of attention. And shallow is the word that best fits them. Now, if you have a friend who's a 1 to 3 narcissist, this is annoying. If you're in a new relationship, it's annoying. If it's your coworker, it's annoying. However, if this is your partner and you're trying to raise children with them or have a meaningful relationship with them, it goes beyond just annoying then. It might be exhausting and may even bring up strong feelings of regret and grief. If this was your parent just wasn't able to be a parent. It was a parent who was more interested in their lives, their fun, their stuff. And for parents who are in that 1 to 3 narcissism zone, their child is at best an afterthought or an accessory, or they're sort of the fun kind of just like, let's go have fun parent, but they're not very present parents. So when you have a 1 to 3 parent, you might even feel conflicted because you might say there were times, my gosh, this parent would let us like paint the walls purple and dance around the house and act silly. But when there were times things were serious, they were nowhere to be found. Then there are the 4 to 7 narcissists. This is actually the group that It's Not You was about. The 4 to 7s, the right, sort of right down the middle. That's what that book was about. Now this is the group this is more than annoying. This is more consistent betrayal, gaslighting, manipulation. In these relationships, you question yourself. You wonder if you're losing your mind. You're constantly confused. In that 4 to 7 range, these are relationships that sometimes couples therapists may still miss because it still seems okay enough. These are rarely physically abusive or physically dangerous relationships. But in a 4 to 7 level relationship, you experience little empathy, and these relationships are asymmetric, hurtful, and because the gaslighting is ratcheted up a few notches, you really do feel crazy if you're in a moderately narcissistic relationship. And people in these relationships struggle, but the trauma bonding can be tough because there are still enough normal-ish days. Finally, there are the 8 to 10s. And it's interesting, it was a conversation about level 8 to 10 narcissists that gave birth to this video. I was talking with someone about coercive control and reading some cases she had shown me. And it was a whole nother level, right? This is dangerous stuff that feels like a Netflix true crime show at times. The 8 to 10s can feel like stories of psychopathy and sociopathy, multiple layers of lies, a seamless capacity to lie and manipulate with relative ease. The betrayals are also very multi-layered. You might be lied to about people close to you just to isolate you, right? The menace of danger in these 8 to 10 level relationships is always just hanging there. And it may not be physical danger, but the I can make your life a living hell danger. I can leave you with nothing kind of danger. The 8 to 10s really don't care. They don't care, for example, if you have cancer during the divorce and will actively fight to take away your health insurance, even when you're in the middle of cancer treatment. They don't care if you can't find a safe place to live or stay. They will make family court their personal fiefdom. The 8 to 10s will break rules, sometimes break laws, and truly think they're above any form of consequences. And on many days, it'll seem like that's true. So here's where this gets tricky in this 1 to 10 scale. If a person who's in a relationship with a level 2 narcissist and a person who is in a relationship with a level 10 narcissist are in a conversation, the person going through that level 2 narcissistic relationship may feel like, I got nothing. Hell, even a person in a level 5 relationship talking with a 10 may feel ashamed that they're complaining after hearing the level 10 person's story. Then you can take that 1 to 10 model and apply it to the types of narcissism as well. A level 2 grandiose narcissist is probably just really Instagram obsessed and editing their pictures. A level 10 grandiose narcissist may be a horrible, screaming, abusive, but visionary boss. A level 2 vulnerable narcissist may seem like a slightly socially anxious, chronically victimized person that everybody feels sorry for. A level 10 vulnerable narcissistic person may actually be rather lost in dangerous, almost paranoid thoughts, and may be often caught in revenge fantasies. I would argue that by definition, malignant narcissistic folks probably don't have a level 1 through 5. Overall, it represents a much more severe form of narcissism, so there are probably 6s and 7s and higher. Even when I was writing It's Not You, I recognized that it was going to be very difficult, if not impossible, to write a book that spoke to everyone from level 1 relationships to level 10 relationships, or at least without the book being like 500 or 600 or 800 pages long. But here, it's a core issue. At the core, narcissism's the same, right? It's always about self-centeredness, low empathy, entitlement, arrogance, excessive seeking of admiration and validation and praise and excessively needing it, sensitivity to feedback or criticism, poor frustration tolerance, arrogance, being superficial. That core is the same. It's really just a matter of the volume button. And it's all bad for you. And while I understand, and it's very likely that people in those level 8 to 10 relationships are at risk for developing PTSD or CPTSD or other more severe psychiatric fallout, or have to interact with systems that let them down, could be family court, could even be law enforcement. It's all happening in a very different way. It's all bad. Having had a superficial parent who only cared about themselves, but every so often was the fun time parent, that hurt you. Just as it sucks to have to play a babysitter to your own spouse, that sucks too. But that might be more of a level 2. And the reason I made this video is that people are sometimes confused. Because even the 8 to 10 people sometimes wonder if they're maybe misperceiving their narcissistic relationships because it's so bad. No, it's just more severe. It's all bad, whether it's a 1 or a 10. And for this reason, one-size-fits-all guidance and advice often does not work. But also, don't compare. No matter what, it sucks. Whether you're in a relationship with a 1 or a 9. A 1 may be fine as a friend or a colleague, but not as a partner or a parent. A 10 is just not okay for any kind of human relationship. But whether you're dealing with a 1 or a 5 or a 10, if you're going through one of these relationships, you are confused, ruminating, anxious, frustrated, angry, vigilant, and feel you can never get it right. That's universal too. Really the thing that throttles up as you get closer to 8s, 9s, and 10s is the fear. But thinking of it as 1 to 10, 1 to 3, 4 to 7, 8 to 10 can help you understand the difference between your experience and that of other people in narcissistic relationships. And you may also recognize that within your own life, there are people in your life who are 2s, and you may also have some 7s and some 8s. Few of us have just one narcissistic person in our lives. But the more severe the narcissistic relationship and the more contact, the more impact of the relationship, the worse off we are. And obviously that varies for all of us too. We want things to be simple, but understanding narcissistic relationships is not. And sometimes recognizing how this all falls on different kinds of continuums can help you make more sense of it. So again, this may very well be, though, why you sometimes hear stories of narcissistic relationships and you may feel, gosh, they're having a very different experience than me. They may very well be, but both of you are hurting. Thanks again.